The target audience for a digital marketing class or a platform should be people who are business owners, who are technically inclined, who feel that yes, this course will be of a great value. When you are setting up the course details, you need to be highly innovative and thinking. You need to tell exactly what kind of promotional aspects that you are looking forward. Good morning and welcome to the fifth session in Unit 2, where we are talking about the entrepreneurial business in terms of conducting an entrepreneurship program. Now, this is going to be an interesting session. Why? Because we are going to define the objectives of the program, and we are going to start with how an entrepreneurship program is going to be. So let's say that we have taken the stand today of developing an EDP program, how it is going to be. Now, you're going to start understanding the objective of conducting the program, which is going to try to make you pass as a value for the program attendees. So the first thing that I would always like to say as an entrepreneurship development program is that we need to add some value. Without value, this program is not going to be considered a success. Followed by the answer to the question, what we are looking here is that what skill do you want to improve or upgrade in the attendees? Now, before we start going to this question, I would like to bring out an example here. Most of you might have heard about this learning app or the learning platform called as Upgrad. Upgrad is a platform which came up in such a interesting manner. They said that degrees that they promote is not for namesake, but that is for the reason of getting a job. Which means to say that Upgrad's initiative was that anybody who learns an MBA or any other master's program through their particular platform, that would be a job-ready program. So now, when I go back to this question, asking that what skill do you want to improve or upgrade for the attendees? What is that you want to upgrade in the attendees? What is that you want them to improve upon? Then my answer is that it's a clear-cut objective that I want to create a program that will add a lifelong value to the entrepreneurship. I want to see that the program will increase the awareness of, let's say, digital marketing or in a particular area. So what I'm trying to do here is that I am going to set a program through which people are definitely going to get completely enhanced in terms of the marketing ability. So this is very, very important as we are speaking about it. Moving further, let me try to define the objectives of the EDP, which is very, very important here. The first thing is that, let's say that we are going to start with the digital marketing program, the career and scope of how entrepreneurs can afford using marketing on a digital mode. Now, let's say that this is the program that we have started, and this is how we are going to take it further in terms of the entrepreneurial factor. Now, the first thing, before we get into it, let me start with a very simple example here. The day when Simply Learn started promoting its courses online, the ideology of Simply Learn was very, very interesting. They wanted to start a program where people could continue learning, continue to certify themselves being in the job. Their ideology was that you need to keep on upgrading and reskilling yourself so that you are able to promote yourself to the next level. Now, when you go back, the same kind of thing when I'm asking here, the marketing factor of digital marketing altogether, what do we want is that how are you going to enhance the scope, the nature of your operations in your business? We don't want the digital marketing itself to become a business for you. We want the entrepreneurs to use digital marketing as a platform. as a growth enhancement factor altogether, so that they are able to take this platform and start developing themselves. This is highly important at this juncture, at this level altogether. Why? Let me tell you that. Because when we are giving them a tool, when we are giving them an instruction platform, when we are giving them an exercise to be done, we expect that this will actually promote them to the next level as far as possible. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to make the system even more effective. We are trying to make the system even more better altogether. So we don't want a factor, we don't want a system that is only promoting theoretical ideas. We want a system that is actually going to promote them to the next level as far as possible. The next thing is that identify the target audience for the course. Now, when I say the target audience for the course is going to be the people who are actually tech savvy in nature. Again, let me go back to the Simply Learn example for a moment. Simply Learn, when they wanted to target people, they look for people who are already professionals in their respective area. Now, when you look into the Simply Learn website, the most exciting part of their journey is that they've also started coming up with enhancing your resume. So once you are skilled, once you are certified, they also help you to find new avenues of growth. So what is happening here is that they've understood their target audience very clearly. They've said that people who are interested in reskilling themselves need to be a part of the program. So similarly here, the target audience for a digital marketing class or a platform should be people who are business owners, who are technically inclined, who feel that yes, this course will be of a great value. Now, the most important thing is that when you are designing a course, you also need to talk about the affordability, which is very, very important. You cannot design a course which is too highly priced. That's why most of the online training programs, if you start looking into it, they provide lot of discounts. I would like to talk about Udemy also here. If you go through the udemy.com platform, you would see that there are a lot of offers which are being promoted on a timely basis so that people can take the course at a very, very affordable cost. Course is something like 455 rupees. 400 rupees, 300 rupees, they are ready to promote courses. The reason being is that so that people can participate, people can take the benefit out of it. So this is going to be something very, very interesting today to know on the factors that the target audience and their affordability. You cannot build a course which is too highly priced, which is too complicated, or which is something that cannot be understood by those people at all. Now, the next thing is that setup of the course details. Now, the course detail, this is going to be the most challenging factor that we are going to talk about. Now, what are the course details according to us? You know the objectives, the target audience, the time detail of the EDP to identify the duration, medium, fees, and what are the kind of factors. So I would suggest a 16-hour course with an online medium looking about the avenue and all the factors. Now, what is this ideology all about? Now, let's say that if you are going to design a 16-hour course altogether, how are you going to break this 16 hours? Do you want to run a module of half an hour each so that you will have 32 modules, each having about, let's say, 30 minutes of class altogether? How many assignments do you want to include? What are the kind of practical tests you want to include? What are the kind of feedback control mechanisms that you want to include? Whether this would be a very short-term course, a medium course, or a long-term course altogether. Now, the most important thing is that what kind of materials and the study factors that study materials that you're going to include with this course. Why am I trying to tell you all this thing is that when we are trying to conduct an EDP program online, What we are intending to do is that we are intending to see that the entire training, the entire material, the information is so well built that it is able to make the people understand exactly like an offline course altogether. So the online course should be equal to an offline course. In the same manner, we need to provide all the facilities, all the thought process, so that this factor becomes even more interesting. That's why we say that the cost changes based on the medium factor. Now, normally, if an offline course you are going to conduct, it is going to be expensive. Why? Because you need to pay fees for the venue, for the food arrangement, for the facilities arrangement, and so many other factors. The same course, if you are going to conduct it online, it is definitely going to cost less, and it does not involve booking of a physical space and other kind of infrastructure. With the advent of technology taking over, we shall be able to promote better facilities altogether by teaching this entire course online. So that's why I would say that when you are setting up the course details, you need to be highly innovative and thinking, because when you are setting up this entire course, it has to be highly effective in nature. Followed by promotion of the course. How are you going to promote this course altogether? Let us look at this. You should be able to identify the mediums of promoting the course depending on the number of students. Let us go with an example of Unacademy, or let us go with the example of Byju's or anybody else who are there on the online platform today. Now, the challenge in an online platform is that who are you going to identify? Because it's so vast. Anybody can be your customer, and that person can be either interested to just to know about your course, or the person might be interested to get in-depth knowledge out of it. Now, when online media becomes the source of promoting, when you go through the social media platforms, or when you start promoting this exercise through any other kind of channels or website, what happens here is that the target audience or the participants are very, very diverse in nature. So now the promotion of the course becomes a very, very big challenge. Why? Because we have a huge number of people who are participating, a huge amount of audience. The population is so big. So what I would suggest is that you need to bring in a sampling exercise here. Once you are able to sample the data, you need to understand the sampling has to be from a cost, time and efficiency purpose. Who are exactly your audience who are looking up for this course, who believe that there can be a value by attending this course? So the sampling exercise has to be very, very effective, which will be able to tell the people, tell the personalities that yes, this is what the course is all about. The next thing is that when you are marketing your course, you need to tell exactly what kind of promotional aspects that you are looking forward. Now, if you look at Byju's, they have a very, very distinctive platform. One side, they give a platform for the toddlers, for the young children, that is from the LKG to 3rd standard, where they have combined with the Disney characters. So it's a very efficient way of promoting their products. The other side, when they're talking about kids from 4th standard to 10th standard onwards, that's a different way of marketing and putting their products all together. So similarly, when you are marketing an EDP course, you need to identify the people clearly in terms of whether they are beginners, it is an intermediate course, is it an advanced course, is it for people who are already there, for the experienced lot, for the inexperienced, for whom are we typically targeting this course? Because if you are not able to identify, if you're not able to segregate, and you start going on a general marketing mode, trying to promote the business altogether, then people are not going to watch it, people are not going to buy it at all. They want to see some attraction in the course. They want to see that there is some value behind the course material altogether. That course has to spell some success. The course cannot be a primitive course at any point of time. So that is why I would say that the course has to be standardized in terms of promoting, followed by promote the course by preparing for the future. Now, this is highly important. The word called as future. Are you futuristic in nature? Now, what happens is that when we train people, we train them for a need purpose. Let's say that I want to take up a bank examination, so I go and join an online training academy. Now, what do they typically do is that they teach me certain shortcuts, certain tips, or a promotional aspect or idea which will help me to crack the examination immediately. So I would be able to clear the examination, come out of it and say that yes, I have cleared the exam. But then when you start thinking in the long run, will the same kind of methods or techniques that have been taught, can it be applied to the other exams also? The answer might not be true. So when you are designing an EDP program, please keep in mind that that program should answer the futuristic problems of the society. That is highly important here. Do not develop a program which is short run, which is very, very simple, and which just ends up with few tags or names altogether. That would not be sufficient. Why? Because people might not look at it as an efficient way of running the program. The next thing is that uncertainty or risk. Now, most of them only highlight the program in a positive manner. Whenever I go through the videos in YouTube looking for some new study material altogether, it's quite exciting for me because whenever I see those channels, I see a huge number of followers and subscribers, and the way how they have presented it is only about the positives about it. They just go ahead and say that anything and everything is possible by studying this course, and this course is very simple. But unfortunately, you never know the person who is going through your video, whether he has understood or not. Why? Because you are not bringing in the uncertainty and the risk factors. You have not taken that into inclusion at all. What you have done is that you have just run a course to promote it, and you want subscribers to just add on to your system. What we want is that bring in a system that talks about the uncertainty. What are the challenges? Suppose if I go through this course, if I go through this particular material, are the risk factors and the uncertainties being clearly addressed? Yes or no? If it is not being addressed, if it is not being told, then it becomes a problem. Why? Because that has to be clearly told. That has to be understood in terms of the scaling up factor. That has to be told. So for example, if I'm taking an EDP training program for an automation business, or for a healthcare business, for a banking financial services, what are the inherent risks that are involved with the nature of business? What are all the training factors are going to address? So tomorrow when I come back and if I have a doubt in that particular slide, in that particular program altogether, will I be able to go back? Will I be able to understand that there is a solution? That is mandatory. That has to be in the mind. Next thing is whether this program can move up to the next level and address the problem. If I'm not able to address the challenges, if I'm not able to scale up, then this program might not be interesting at all. So what do I need to do there is that I need to create a program that will scale up the ideology, the thought process altogether. This has to be a step for the next program. Now, normally what happens is that, let me just give you an example of a training program which I had seen for a chess playing activity. When I went through this video in YouTube, this is about how to play chess. This is for the beginner program. But at the end of the program, end of the slide, what was very interesting is that he makes you understand that you cannot just stop here. You need to go to the next video, which will tell you chess at an intermediate level and then chess at an advanced level. The same thing, what I'm trying to tell you here is that the EDP program has to be so well connected that it has to make the participant go to the next level as far as possible. But if the EDP program is disconnected, it's just like, one single orientation and then you forget the entire entity, then you are not going to see success at all. So the scaling up of the program is highly important. It has to take the participant to the next level as far as possible, followed by learning from the failure and building on it. It is always important that you provide examples which are negative as well as positive. So there are a lot of failures, there are a lot of risks, there are a lot of stories where entrepreneurs have miserably failed. Now, that is not bad. That is not something to be pointed out every time. You need to understand that failures are also a part of this journey and the failures need to be highlighted here. Unless and until the failures have been clearly told and we build on it, we will not be able to see this program getting a success. Followed by dealing with organizational and team issues. So you will have a lot of HR issues and problems coming up, and that also needs to be highlighted. So you need to tell in the program how to handle people, how to take forward, how to build a team, and what are all the organizational issues with them, because that will help you to build a sound program. Now, all the above challenges faced are deeply involved in business offer. We are so busy in terms of firefighting that we need to bring the products back on track, and we have to see that this journey moves up strategically forward. So what we need to do is that we need to understand the contents very, very clearly, promote it exactly in a manner so that you are able to take it forward. Plus, the learning modules from other entrepreneurs, the important critical inputs that they have given should also be included in this model. Then only you will be able to see that the learning experience is truly enriching, or else what will happen is that this will just remain a theoretical tool. So what we need to do, take all the inputs, put it on a day-to-day exercise, rebuild it and take it forward. With this, I come to the end of this particular session. I hope and believe that all the factors that have been spoken here will be of a great help and benefit to you. In the upcoming session, we will be talking about the different aspects of EDP. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.